Hi, I'm Mark and I'm passionate about English. Okay, so this is the second mini lesson in August where I'm going to look at some songs, the lyrics and the meaning behind the songs. And this again is just to give you an example of what's going to be in the lessons, in the courses, starting in September. So each course will have 4 lessons. Each lesson will be at least 3 hours, and each lesson will have a lot of different sections, but I'll always look at 1 or 2 songs as well. And if you've got requests for me to which songs to look at, please email me or leave a message on Facebook. Okay, so 2 very, very popular songs by a very popular artist. First one, Billie Jean, Michael Jackson. So I'll just go through the lyrics first and see if we can work them out a little bit. So she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. Okay, so it just means she wasn't any ordinary girl. She was really somebody very beautiful, or a word we'd often use is stunning. Stunning means very, very attractive. I said, I don't mind, but what do you mean I am the one who will dance on the floor in the round? Okay, so I wasn't sure what in the round means, so I googled it. All I had to do was put in the round meaning Billie Jean, and you come up with all sorts of websites, and one I came up with, which is actually very, very good, www.schmoop.com. And the guy there, or possibly somebody, some comments from people, in the round is often in the theatre, where instead of the seats being in rows opposite the stage, sometimes the seating goes around the stage, maybe part of the way or completely. So this is referring to the fact that she's on the dance floor, she's in the middle, and people can see her from all over the place. And a good expression, all eyes are on her. So all eyes are on her means everyone was watching her. Okay, she told me her name was Billie Jean as she caused a scene. Okay, now caused a scene is usually a bit negative. So a child will, if you're out with a child and they start screaming and shouting, the mother might say, stop causing a scene, stop being naughty and making everyone look at you. So usually negative. Then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one who will dance on the floor in the round. Okay, so again, a very beautiful woman, we would say she turns heads. So if she walks down the street, people kind of wow, and look. So yes, and so basically it's saying that people were perhaps envious or jealous of this woman, Billie Jean. People always told me, be careful of what you do and don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. Okay, we've dealt with heart idioms in one mini lesson. So if she broke my heart, it means she upset me a lot, maybe she left me. Or another useful word is she dumped me. Okay, dumped is kind of just finished with me, but usually not in such a nice way. But in this case, Michael Jackson is the one breaking young girls' hearts. And his mother always told me, be careful of who you love. And be careful of what you do, because the lie becomes the truth. So in a way, previously he's been bragging about he's the one that's dancing with her, and possibly he was going out with her or had sex with her. But then, as we'll see later, he's trying to also deny that because of this child. And so then he sings, Billie Jean is not my lover, she's just a girl who claims that I am the one. Claim is just says, but strongly. And in this case, I am the one is I am the father. but the kid is not my son. Okay, I'm sure you know kid is another word for child. I always thought it said the girl is not my sign, meaning that she's not the right astrological sign. So I always thought that until I printed it out. But yeah, he's saying the child is not his. For 40 days and for 40 nights, so this is a kind of reference to the time Jesus spent in the wilderness, the law was on her side. So that's basically saying that the lawyers, the court, were actually agreeing with her that it is Michael Jackson's son. But who can stand when she's in demand? If somebody or something is in demand, it means a lot of people want it. Her schemes and plans. Okay, because we danced on the floor in the round. So take my strong advice, just remember to always think twice. Okay, think twice about something means to consider it more carefully. Don't jump in or don't dive in. We had those in the swimming idioms lesson. Just be cautious. And then he says, do think twice. Okay, we often use do in front of a sentence to emphasize it. So I could say, oh, come to Bournemouth, or do come to Bournemouth, or call me, or do call me. It just makes it stronger, more emphatic. She told my baby we'd danced till 3. Then she looked at me. She showed a photo of a baby crying. I guess she told my baby is maybe Michael Jackson saying he has a girlfriend already. But this Billie Jean told his girlfriend that we had danced till 3 in the morning. Then she looked at me. She showed a photo of a baby crying. His eyes looked like mine. So in a way, he's saying maybe it was his child. Go on, dance on the floor in the round, baby. People always told me, be careful of what you do and don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. She came and stood right by me, then the smell of sweet perfume. This happened much too soon, and she called me to her room. So in a way, he sort of couldn't resist her and has gone to her room again, or maybe it's the first time. And then he just keeps singing, Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. Okay. So, according to one website, and okay, yeah, here we go. The song is about a girl who claimed that Michael Jackson was the father of her child. Jackson based it on a woman who used to stalk him. A stalker is someone who kind of pesters you or won't leave you alone, follows you, comes outside your house, writes you letters, phones you up, and it's unwanted. You don't want this attention. So of course it happens with famous people, but it could also happen with just an ordinary person too. Okay. Writing him letters about a son she thought was his. Michael Jackson rarely spoke about this woman, but he had a very hard time dealing with this unwanted attention, and he became more reclusive as a result. Okay, a recluse is somebody who doesn't go out very much, doesn't mix with people, stays home, and reclusive is the adjective. The song was his way of expressing his feelings without addressing her directly, without speaking to her directly. While Jackson didn't give many details about the real Billie Jean, his producer Quincy Jones said that Jackson found the woman one day lounging by his pool with a bathing suit and sunglasses on. According to Quincy Jones, she accused Jackson of being the father of one of her twins, which that's a bit difficult to only be father of one of the twins. Okay, so that's enough for that song. Yeah, I've got so many bits of paper here. Yeah, there's also another thing. In an interview in Thailand, Michael Jackson was asked about the song, and he said, there is a girl named Billie Jean, but it's not about that Billie Jean. Billie Jean is kind of anonymous. It represents a lot of girls. They used to call them groupies. Okay, groupies were girls who would hang around with pop stars and bands and hope to have sex with the pop stars. And they would try and have a relationship with the guys. And he says he wrote this out of his experience when he was with his brothers, the Jackson 5, when he was little, because of course he was much younger than them. And he says there were a lot of Billie Jeans. Every girl claimed that their son was related to one of my brothers. Okay, so interesting song. Why not listen to it, print out the lyrics, and maybe even check some of these websites where they explain the meaning. Okay, so next I'm going to look at Thriller. So maybe good to print out the lyrics of this one and listen to it as well. Okay, so this was a very famous Michael Jackson song too, and with a very famous video. So I'll go through some of the vocabulary in here. It's close to midnight, just means it's nearly midnight, and something evil's lurking in the dark. Lurking is kind of hiding or moving around in a slow, not very nice way. Under the moonlight you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make the scream. You start to freeze as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed. Okay, so freeze is like, of course you freeze food and drink, but if you actually freeze a person, it means they're so afraid, they're so scared that they can't move. And paralyzed usually means when you are really, you've had a car accident or something, you can't move your legs, or could be your arms as well. But if again you're paralyzed with fear, it means you just cannot move, you're so scared. Cause this is thriller night. Again, cause we often use instead of because. And no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. Okay, so beast is another word for animal, a little bit negative word sometimes. So it's talking about these things in the graveyard. Okay, the graveyard is where people are buried, and lots of graves. You know, it's thriller night. You're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller tonight. You hear the door slam. Okay, so especially if you had an argument with your girlfriend or boyfriend, you might actually really push the door very hard and make a big noise. That's slamming the door. And realize there's nowhere left to run. You feel the cold hand and wonder if you'll ever see the sun. So if you'll ever see the sun means, is he going to survive the evening, or is he going to die tonight? You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination. Girl, but all the while you hear the creature creeping up behind. You're out of time. Okay, creeping is to move again, kind of slowly. Again, would often be kind of a bit negative. You're out of time. I guess it means you've run out of time, so you're going to die. It's what he's saying. Because this is thriller night. There ain't no second chance against the thing with 40 eyes, girl. Okay, so I don't know, some creepy or things have 40 eyes, but I think it's just to make the song sound right. But here's an interesting word, if you don't know, there ain't. We often use this in music and kind of informal. Isn't. But it doesn't sound very good if you said there isn't a second chance. So we put there ain't no second chance. And you'll find that in a lot of songs, ain't. You're fighting for your life inside of killer thriller tonight. Night creatures call and the dead start to walk in their masquerade. Okay, a masquerade is a kind of a show, often with masks. There's no escaping the jaws of the alien this time. Okay, jaw, if you don't know, is, so that's my mouth, but this is my jaw. Okay, this is the end of your life. They're out to get you. So they're going to come and find you and take you. There's demons closing in on every side. So there's a lot of different words sort of talking about these monstery type things. And ghoul is another one, and ghouls are supposed to eat human flesh in a graveyard. There's demons closing in on every side. They will possess you unless you change the number on your dial. Okay, now I couldn't find what this really means on the internet. It kind of is saying unless you change your frequency, or you perhaps find somewhere that's not so horrible. There's a lot of people saying different things, but it's not very clear. Now is the time for you and I to cuddle close together. Okay, cuddle is when you hold someone, often romantically, but in this case because they're scared. All through the night I'll save you from the terror on the screen. So I think in the video they are actually watching this movie, a thriller, and then they go out and then they get surrounded by these things. Okay, that this is Thriller Night, because I can thrill you more than any ghoul would ever dare try. So again, I just explained a ghoul is one of these monsters in the graveyard who eats humans. Thriller Night. So let me hold you tight and share a killer, diller, chiller, thriller here tonight. And then he sings that sort of thing again. And then we've got Vincent Price. Okay, Vincent Price was a famous actor who was in many thrillers. And I was reading again on the internet, he was offered $20,000 to do this speech, or a small percentage of the record sales, and he chose the $20,000. Of course, if he'd chosen the percentage, he would have made millions, just from reading this. Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. So it's just saying midnight is coming soon. Creatures crawl in search of blood. So often insects crawl. They kind of move slowly and often with difficulty to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down. Okay, so I explained in the down phrasal verb lesson, if you get down, it means you're getting funky, you're enjoying yourself. Must stand and face the hounds of hell. So this is probably a reference to the book or the movie, The Hounds of the Baskervilles, which I believe Vincent Price was in. And rot inside a corpse's shell. Okay, usually we talk about food rotting. So if you don't eat it and just leave it, it will go bad. Apples, all sorts of food rot, and of course meat, and of course humans, if you just leave them outside. A corpse is a dead person, and the shell is just kind of saying the dead body. The funk of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls. Grisly is like terrible, awful ghouls from every tomb. Okay, so a grave is when you are put or buried in the ground, and you'll often have a grave stone with some words on it. But in some countries, they actually, and I think it's more connected with a Catholic church, there's actually like almost a little house where the people are buried in, and you can sometimes even go inside. So that's called a tomb. And closing in to seal your doom. Doom is like your terror or the end of your life. And seal is... so you would seal something with glue, or you seal a letter when you lick the letter. So it's the end. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver. Shiver is when you're cold, it's like this, but also, of course, you can shiver because you're very afraid. For no mere mortal can resist. Mortal is a human being, and it's just saying nobody can resist the evil of the thriller. And then you have the famous laugh. Okay, so what else can I tell you here? The music video is considered the most famous music video of all time by many people. It was nearly 14 minutes and had easily 100 million views very soon on YouTube. What else to say? It's one of the very few songs, pop songs, that have a horror theme. And here's an interesting little fact I read earlier. Michael Jackson was, and the whole of the Jackson family were raised as Jehovah's Witnesses, which is a kind of Christian group. And he was actually asked not to release this song, but Michael Jackson was under contract to release the song. But actually, he, because of the problems, we cut ties with the Jehovah's Witnesses in 1987. Cut ties means he just stopped any relationship with them. Okay, so I think that will do. So, yep, that's just a quick look at some of the lyrics. And so again, because maybe the song is very familiar to you, and you've heard it many times, these words, sometimes like a ghoul, for example, is not a very useful word, but it'll be easy to remember, or you don't even have to try to remember because you like the song, because you know the song, and so on. Okay, so that is your mini lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And more than anything else, the reason I'm doing the songs is because I'd really like to encourage you to learn English by looking at the lyrics, and if you're interested, looking at the meaning of the songs by yourself, going on these websites. And yeah, it's a really, really good way to learn English, in my opinion, because it's something you're interested in. If you're not interested in music, but you're interested in football, then go to football websites or buy a football magazine. Don't sort of study things which you're not really interested in. People say to read the newspaper, but that's full of a lot of difficult words sometimes. So yes, that's what I would suggest. Study something that you like, so it doesn't seem like study. And if you like music, I think it's a great way. Alright, I'll see you in the next mini lesson. Thanks for today, and bye now.